morning everyone. It's lap quilt today, lap quilt day 2, because I've had Easter off and it has been particularly lovely, very sunny, lovely weather. Managed to enjoy some time in the garden, so yes, it was very, very lovely. I'm just moving my pins out of the way before we even get started. I seem to spread pins everywhere. Do you? Do you spread them everywhere, or are you really good and you tidy up as you go? Because I don't. I'm just going to change my blade on my rotary cutter as well, because it's definitely on its last legs. So I shall do that while everyone comes in. As usual, can't see any comments yet. Because I think Facebook must be having some kind of, under a lot of pressure at the moment with so many Facebook Lives going on. I wonder if I press that, what will happen? No, even that doesn't work. No. Right, so I'm just changing my blade. Just bear with me a second. I hate, does anyone else hate changing their blades? I just hate it. It's because I can't ever seem to get it as it was. So. Right, let's try. I still can't see any comments, and I'm sure you're all there. Right, just change this. Oh, I think I've put it on upside down already. No, that's definitely not on, right? So it's the townhouse today. I've put up the download on my website. So you just have to go there and, oh, this is better. Go there, go to the lap quilt at the top if you don't follow the link, and you can just click on day 2. And then you can, right, let's just check that. Oh, that's better. That's better. Right, dispose of that blade later. Right, I can't see anything. It's so frustrating when I can't see anything. I might even run and go and get the laptop, just so I can actually see what's happening. Lynn, watching laying down your vertigo's back. Oh no, that is awful. I'm sorry about that. So I can see Lynn. Shall I run and get the laptop quickly? Yes, 2 seconds. Have a look at the background while I'm gone. Okay, I'm back. I ran in my slippers. Hold on, I need to turn the heater off as well. Right, let's see if we can get this under control. Let's load up the laptop. Running in slippers is not the thing to do. I'd just like to say that right now. Right. Videos. It's like it's me and Lynn. Like it's me and Lynn all on our own. Right. Here we go. It's like it's me and Lynn. I've got comments. Morning, Susan. Hi, Annie. Hi, Chris. Hi, Angela. Hi, Susan. Hi, Nicola. Hi, Deborah. Jane, Sandra, Joanne, Linda, Angela, Jan. Oh, you can hear me. Shush. Who else have we got? Good morning, Leslie. Hi, Joe. Right. Oh, okay. So I can see you at least on the laptop. Okay, so we're doing townhouse. So we did the little house. I still got to redo mine because it's not ideal. But we did the little house, little cottage, and today we're going to do the townhouse. Now the Townhouse, you've got two printouts. This one is entirely foundation paper pieced, so we'll go through that one. This one, we're going to do foundation paper piecing, and we're also just going to do a little bit of patchwork. So we're going to do a couple. And I'm going to use these fabulous fat quarters that were sent to me as part of a fat quarter exchange that I'm a part of. And I thought that they would look pretty superb next to this house. Thought they worked quite well. And of course your background colour, mine is my white. So I've not prepared any pieces or anything because I just wanted to do it along with you. So we'll start with the first piece, which is not the roof. So this is the first piece. We're going to patchwork these three pieces together. That's why they haven't got, you'll notice they haven't got numbers, they've just got measurements. And then we'll foundation paper piece these, that's why they've got numbers. Okay, if that makes sense. And we'll put the roof piece to one side for now. And we'll get on with cutting out the pieces. Move my mat. I've got my iron on already. I've got my dodgy mat back. Sorry about that. Susan's got her cloud fabric, brilliant. Oh, Delith, is that how we pronounce it? Please help me. Delith, you're from Swansea. Lynn's from Swansea too. Yeah, Swansea buds. Right, what colours am I going to do? I think I'm going to go for these two. Just going to go for two. Ooh, I hear a van. What's the van doing? Doesn't look like it's coming to me. Goodness gracious. Right, so, yes, we're going to patchwork the first three pieces. That's why I put measurements on them, okay? I've done centimetres just because I had a centimetre ruler to hand. I didn't have my inch ruler. But I'm sure if you ask Siri, he'll change them for you. I'm going to go for the pink for my door. So, this is my door, and I'm going for pink. This is brickwork, and 2 and 4 are your window pieces. So I'm just going to do white for those. And then 1, 3, 5 and 6 are also brickwork colour. So I'll cut my door piece and I'll poke you down. Morning, Sylv, how are you? Good to have you here. So I'm going to cut my door piece, as I said, and we're going to patchwork these three pieces. So what I'm going to do is this is not, the measurement here is not plus seam allowance. So you need to add on your seam allowance, 1/4 inch either side, okay? So if you can see that, 1/4 inch. So in inches, it's just over 1.5. So if I add 1/4 inch on either side, it's just over, I mean, let's say it's 2. We'll go for 2 inches, okay, in the width for this piece. And then for the length, we'll go with 3¼ inches. So I'll just roughly cut a square. And do you know, I won't do my windows the same colour. I'll just have this lovely. So what did I say? 2¼ Yeah, 2¼ So that's with the seam allowance. Oh, this blade is quite super. 2¼ Look at that, that tiny bit it's cut off. And then what did we say? 3¼ Pay attention, there we go. Should have perhaps written that down as I went. So that's my front door. You can applique on that if you want. No, that's okay, Doreen. We've not done anything yet. We've had technical difficulties. So we've only just got started. So this is my door, and I could applique perhaps a letterbox, a number, but we'll do that another day. This is just, we're going to put all these pieces together first. Now I need my brickwork, which is going to, it's not going to be that, is it? It's going to be this. Gorgeous. So I need 2 of these the same. So in inches, 1/4 inch that side, 1/4 inch that side. So it's 3 inches, and then it'll be the same as the other one, which is 3 1/4 inches. 3 by 3 1/4. Look at this, it's Liberty. Gorgeous, isn't it? 3 1/4 inches. So let's just measure that out. Don't want to waste too much. 3 1/4. So this is my brickwork. 3 1/4. And then it's by 3 inches. Oh, it's pretty nice. And then by 3 inches. Gosh, oh, where's my door gone? I've put my door somewhere. Anyone tell me where I've put my door? I've flung it somewhere. Oh, I found it. I found my door. Found my door. So we've got our 2 brickworks and we've got our door. So this is for the bottom of this section that we're just going to patchwork together. So right sides together, brickwork to door, and then we'll press it open. And then we'll start foundation paper piecing. Right, I've also got a different machine today. I did a emergency delivery to my mum and she's lent me another Elna because I'm not having problems with my sewing machines. But you can't go wrong with the Elna. Well, you can with the other Elna. Gracious. Has anyone listened to our new theme tune? Pretty awesome. Right, 1/4 inch. I've got the stitch length quite small because I was ready for foundation paper piecing. Let's just up that. And that's our brickwork and our door. And then we'll do the other side. Brickwork and door. Oh, it's a very sprightly machine, this one. Wasn't expecting that. Right, bring in my mat. Or go to your ironing board. You don't have to have a mat. Where's my... Get my cable. Set your seams, remember, press that seam and then roll it back. Set that seam and roll it back. Right, so we have the starting point of our piece. Okay, so this is our piece here. So now we're going to start building this up. So put that to one side for now, to pop a pin in it. So obviously I know this is back to front to you, so I'm sorry about that, but you know how it is. I've actually got a cable coming tomorrow. I'll just tell you. I've got a cable coming tomorrow that's going to enable me to broadcast from my laptop. So it will be landscape and everything will be the right way around. Exciting times. So, right, let's carry on. So this is what you've got. You're going to start with number 1. Remember, we're going to do it on the back and we're going to do it on the reverse. So my number 1 is my brickwork. So that's that gorgeous Liberty. Beautiful. I might go for another colour for the windows. Hey, I know. If this isn't, I might go for this batik for the windows. I think I'm going to do that, you know. I think that would look quite nice. So, as we spoke about, 1, 6, 7, 3 and 5 are your brickwork fabric. And then 4 and 2 is your window fabric. So you need to cut piece 1. Let me move my mat and I've pinned my door and brickwork on there so I don't lose it. So you want to cut this piece as accurately as possible. So you'll need to measure it. 1/4 inch either side again for seam allowance. That takes me to 2 1/4 inches by just over 2 inches. So just over 2 inches one way and was that just, and then 2 1/4 inches that way. So let's have a little look. That'll be absolutely fine. So we're going to flip this over. Keep your pub sign though. Seb has actually coloured in more of the sign. He was just so excited to finish off colouring that. So he's done sort of a rainbow effect on it. Yeah, and that was, you know, terrible trying to draw that backwards. Right, because you'll have printed this out, you'll be able to see quite easily on the reverse your ink. My pen's leaking. Look at the state of me now. But this is the, and that one's leaking. This is the master copy, so I actually can't see much. So if you can't see much like me, oh look what's happening. Oh my goodness me. It's always a bit of a disaster with me, I feel. Right, I'll try and get rid of as much of that as I can. Yes, because I can't see much, I'm just going to go over those lines. I can see them ever so slightly, but not much. And it's just these top lines I'm going to go over. But again, because you'll have printed yours out, you should be able to see it better. That ink will have seeped through a bit. Just do some marks where my lines are. Like so. Yeah, okay. And I haven't given you the extra seam allowance on this one, on the outside edge, so you'll be able to see how we can do that without. So, just draw my lines on. That's not the straightest of lines there, where's the next one there? Right, nearly there. So I'm going to ignore the bottom bit because that's the bit we've already patchworked. Oh, Mum's here. She's been chatting to Rosella. I see. I've got something to show you, Mum. Hold on. Let me show you what I've got for my mum. It's just arrived this morning. Ready? It's the world's biggest cutting mat. It's absolutely huge. The man's just delivered it. And he gave it to me as I was heading into the studio. So I just sort of grabbed it off him. Thanks. He already thinks I'm crackers. Right, down we go. Right. So I'm going to turn this around so it's this way up for me. So piece number 1, as you know, always goes face up. So that's what we'll do. You'll see I've done 1, 2, 3 and then 4, 5. You can actually go either side of the one to start, as long as then you do the next piece, because you're going out like this. So I'll do 1 here. My windows, as I said, are going to be this batik. I'm just going to cut a bit and then I'll trim it afterwards. So we're going to line up, you can't really see what's right side and what's wrong side with the batik, but line up those 2 edges, get a pin, which I put over here, and just pin those through the paper. I've made a right mess of myself. Okay, so now what we're going to do is just flip it over and we're going to stitch that line. And you want to remember we're going to do a really quite small stitch, so it's really easy to get that paper off. So I'm going to 4 to 5. You can go 2 to 3, but I'm doing 4 to 5 because that's the way I've done it. Right, pull my threads out, make sure my pin is in place, take it to the machine. Make sure everything is flat, which it is. Just make sure you're stitching on this line. Where's my foot pedal gone? We're stitching on that line, yeah, not 1/4 inch either side, but directly on that line. My stitch could have been a lot smaller there, I'll be honest with you. If you want it about on a 1, so it's really thin. Scissors. So, here is our first window, like this. So what we're going to do is we're just going to give it a little press, flip it out. Yeah, like so. Then we're going to trim size. I really ought to bring a smaller mat in here with me. Right, so now we want to trim this to size. So what you want to do is where that line is for your window, you're going to flip and you're going to fold it out. So then when you lay that piece down, you're going to use that line as your guide to a 1/4 inch. So you're going to take off a 1/4 inch on that side, like that. And then we can trim that. We could trim this top line now if we want to, or we can just go on to the next piece of brickwork. I'm just going to go on to the next piece of brickwork. So getting this gorgeous Liberty again. Beautiful, isn't it? Just right. This is just right. It's making me feel very cheerful. Right, so now we're going to... We know this is already 1/4 inch because we've just trimmed it to size. So we're going to lay up our next piece and pin. And then we're going to flip over and we're going to stitch directly on that line again. Okay, make sure it's right sides together. Place your foot down, needle in. I'm just going to just double check, yep, and then stitch on the line again. Bring in the mat. Set that seam. Roll it back. Obviously I've used quite a bit of fabric there. I'm not going to bother trimming now until I've done the other 2 sides. So another window. I'm just using scraps actually that I've just got. This is a bit that I had left over from my boutiques that I put on my website. So I'm just using those scraps. This is my window, so face down, pin in. Move my mat over this way. Lynn's been doing free foundation paper piecing over the weekend on one of Mum's DVDs. And she gets about, doesn't she, my mum? She's got DVDs, all sorts. Right, just make sure that's all flat, yes. Stitch on there. Get rid of some of these threads while we're here. Okay, flip this over, trim these other threads, take out our pin, just gently press that back. Right, we will obviously need to trim this one because we need to make sure we've got our 1/4 inch seam allowance in place. So again, the same as we did before, we're finding that line and we're just folding it back, putting our fabric back. It's not easy to do it this way around, and then using a 1/4 inch cut. Running out of words this morning. Right, so next bit of building. Some more beautiful Liberty. Like so. Hi Patricia. You're painting your decking, brilliant. Right sides together. Pin. That pin is a bit too close to that line for my liking. Pin, flip and stitch. Okay, so that's our first row of windows done. If I can cut the thread, there we are. Trim and trim. Press this back. Right, so now what we want to do is we want to trim all this to the right size. So let's get everything out. Oh, I've got a little table here now, actually. I forgot to put that there. I'll just put everything there. Okay. So finding the line at the top. So the line between 6 and the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You want to fold that back. And then you're going to trim all of this to 1/4 of an inch. Like that. So you've got a lovely straight line. You're going to now repeat that between all of those and number 7. So fold that back. That's a bit snug, that one. It's not quite 1/4 of an inch, but we will go with what we've got. Open that out. And then we want to do the same for either end here. So fold it back along the line. 1/4 of an inch, and fold it back along the line of 5. Quarter of an inch. You're watching first and doing it later. Oh, that's okay. That's okay. Anne's got 5 minutes on her own. Oh, isn't it lovely? Isn't it absolutely joyful? Right, so we've got our first strip. So we've got building, window, building, window, building. Now we're going to do building, building. So we need 2 bigger pieces of our lovely Liberty. So I'll just cut about yay much. This is the good thing I think about foundation paper piecing, is it's all bits and pieces. So if you've got a bit of something, you can use a bit of something. So I think that's great. So we'll go with that and that. Move that out of the way. Right, so 2 really easy bits. So for the bottom bit, which is your number 7, you've got your strip and you're going to place right sides together, pin that into place, or just one piece. Oh, Patricia, both fabric parcels delivered this morning. The motor is gorgeous. Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. Obviously, there's quite a delay there with the bank holiday weekend. Well, the 4-day bank holiday weekend. But I'm absolutely thrilled that's arrived. Right, so turn that over. And then you're going to stitch that line as well. All the way along. So just make sure you've got that all flat. There we are. Take that out, fold it back. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm not going to bother pressing that one. I'll do them both at the same time. So now the same again with the top strip. Line up. You already know you've cut 1/4 an inch. So just line up that top edge with your fabric. Flip it over and stitch on that line. I've just unthreaded my machine, as is the way when you don't quite grab it right. Excuse me. Oh, I always get a runny nose when I come in here. Yes, I've got a cable coming tomorrow, which is going to sort out, so I can do everything landscape and it'll all be the right way round. So that's marvellous. And we might even have camera angles, so I don't even have to move the camera. We'll see. We'll see if the cable fixes my issues. Right, to take that pin out, bring in my mat, press those seams, roll it back, press that seam. What have I done there? Oh, I ran out of bobbin. This one hasn't picked up any bobbin thread, look. I don't know what it's done there. But I've definitely got bobbin coming through. So we'll just re-stitch that line. Well, I never. Let's get a little scrap piece and test if the bobbin's coming through. It's a funny one, isn't it? Let's have a look. Yeah, it's okay now. Okay, I'll just re-stitch this line. That's a funny one, isn't it? I'm just going to do it face up because I've already got my guide. So let's just stitch that down. Okay. Yes, that seems okay now. Very odd. Right, press that, roll it back. Let's have a look. Lynn's waiting for a parcel. No fabrics arrived for Linda. I'll have to have a look at it. Our post is taking longer. Yeah, it's. I think that it is, isn't it? Right, so we're going to now trim this back. So using the outside line that we've already used, so it's nice already folded, we can trim to 1/4 inch. Same on the other side. Just fold that back. This is why you only go up to, you only stitch up to the end of the line. You don't go over because then you won't be able to fold your paper back. Now we're going to trim this to size. So the top line along number 6, trim, and 7. Yeah, our post office has changed its opening hours, so they're open 3 hours less a day. And we're definitely not getting as much post. So it's definitely reduced hours in a lot of places, isn't it? Right, so there's the first section. Yeah. So now we're going to attach the first piece of patchwork that we did. So let me just grab that if it will come off my pin. So this is our first piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the paper, because then we can just patchwork it together. So what I'll do first of all is I'll just trim off some of the mass, just because it's going to be then easier for me to peel it off without doing any damage to my fabric. So you can start in the middle of one if you want, or you can start at the edge. I've used quite a big stitch. With a smaller stitch, it's a lot easier to peel that paper off because you've created a serration basically. So it's a lot easier to peel it off. But I've got quite a big stitch. I'm just conscious that I don't want to rip out any of my stitches. So I'll just peel that off. I'll just leave that bit on for now because we've done the place we're going to stitch to. So it's large, the largest gap. We're going to do, flip it over, right sides together. Your bottom piece might come out slightly larger, mine has, but that's fine. We'll just trim, we can trim everything to size. So right sides together, and using a 1/4 inch. Ideally, you want to press your your door so your seams are out. So that seam's out and that seam's out. But I'm just going to hold it. Okay. Let's get the mat. Thank you, Julie. Can I ask if you can draw out the house pattern yourself, or is it if you draw out it's a template on my website. You can download it or you can draw it out yourself. It's up to you what you want to do. Right, so I'm just pressing my door out now, then rolling back. Okay. I'm quite pleased I went for the green for those windows, actually. I think that's come out really nicely. Right, I'm just going to trim this so it's all the same. Okay. Is that nice and straight? Let's have a little look. More or less. Just trim that little bit off there. Okay, so we've got the starting there of our townhouse. I'll just peel off all the paper now. It must be a very busy day in the skies for the Air Force and the Navy, not the Navy, the Air Force, because we've got lots of planes flying overhead today, so we are in their flight path. So if you can hear, one earlier was so loud, oh my goodness. We actually had a Chinook helicopter go over the other day, and it was it rattled the whole house. But you can see how beautifully your seams nest in when you're doing it this way. So this whole row sits proudly at the back over the other two. So that sits beautifully. So when you come to quilt it, that'll be beautiful. So that's the start of our house, our townhouse. Now what I will do is I won't bore you with doing the next one because it is exactly the same as this second section that we did, the foundation paper piecing. It's exactly the same. So you're going to repeat that process for that, and you're going to attach it on. Now the roof is exactly the same way we did the roof. Hold that bit, it's embarrassing. As how we did the roof for this. So you've got one piece and then you've got two squares. So if you want to see how the roof's done, go back and look at the first video. Maxine, your parcel's just arrived. Woohoo! Yay! And then you're simply going to layer up all four pieces together. So you're going to have a townhouse like this. So I won't do that again. I'll do that after I've finished off chatting with you all, and then I'll do the roof. But you've already seen the technique how to do the roof, and you've already seen the technique how to do that centrepiece. So it's just the centrepiece again here, and then the roof. It's not the same size roof, but it's the same technique. And then you're going to put all four together and you're going to make a townhouse. I have, hold on, let me move you up. I have, my hair's a complete wreck today. I've done a very basic drawing of how the final quilt's going to look. And what I'll do is I'll try and make it a bit neater, and then I'll upload it so you can see what we're going for. And I think it's really, really cute. So I'm going to now do these next two sections. I'll post a picture after I'm done. I haven't seen any comments from my mum, yet I can see she's watching. So Mum, I'm sorry that... Apologies, Abigail, but why didn't you foundation paper piece the door section of your townhouse? I didn't want to. There's no need to, because it's just 3 basic pieces. So I've just done that, and then I'm just showing you a way of adding patchwork to foundation paper piecing. So you don't have to feel like you can only do one or the other. You can add them together. Yeah, so Mum's watching. Hi, Mum. Nice to see you, but can't see you. Sorry. And I imagine you're very happy about your mat arriving. Oh, hold on, Mum. I'm prepping for later. Oh, so you haven't commented at all. Did you see your mat? Did you see that? Yes, Mum's got a Facebook Live on her Facebook page at, I think it's 2:30. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mum. Oh, John's testing equipment. Brilliant. I can't remember what she's making. Is it a tablet stand? But her page is Lizzie Curtis, if you don't already know. I'm sure you do. Oh, yes, your Mum's seen the mat. Oh, great. Yeah. Right, anything else? We're live again tomorrow. We're sticking to the usual schedule now. Easter is over. We've got another house to do. Right, foam stand with Moda scraps. Oh, brilliant. See? Useful. Got 2 more houses to do. We've got another cottage. So if you want to go ahead and make another cottage the same as the first one, then do so. And then we've got another house which is different, and it's got a chimney. Thanks. So you could make another one of those in preparation if you want to. I'm just going to still stick to the schedule and do another one. But I think they're going to look pretty swished together, aren't they? And then obviously it's going to be bigger. But I'm going to do that now before I go back to the children who are currently watching... Can't remember what it's called. I can see them. They're not alone. See, now, yeah, you're talking too much. Right, I'm going to crack on with this. I'll see you tomorrow at 11 o'clock for... we're doing another cottage tomorrow. And I'll show you... Tomorrow, I'll bring the drawing for the whole quilt. I'll show you on the live. And that way, if you're watching, you get to see it. Right, thanks all so much for watching. My headbands are my 12-year-old daughter's from Claire's Accessories. My mum bought them for her, and I've commandeered them because I like them. I think they're just a little bit extra. Yeah, this will be on YouTube. It'll be on later today. Oh, Accessorise. Sorry, Mum. Downgraded you to Claire's Accessories. From Accessorise. Accessorise. Yeah, thank you. I've got some orders to fulfill, so if I don't answer any queries straight away, because I'm packing up. But that's it. I'll see you all tomorrow. I've whittled on long enough, and I'll post a picture of this townhouse as soon as I'm done. See you tomorrow, everyone. Bye.